Did you have a good day, Ma? You comfortable in life? Hello, salutations and greetings. Welcome to my tiny little tube. My name is Margie. I'm Heyoka, empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. I went down to the coffee shop this morning. I was just like, don't do it, Marge. Don't do it. Don't go. I went. Then I came home. Sometimes I'm like, Mom, they can't all be exceptional visits because then they wouldn't be exceptional. They would just be average, even if they were wonderful every time. It's like, if you ask somebody if they could eat one thing forever, what would it be? Mom, it's always vanilla ice cream. But if you ate vanilla ice cream every single day, and that's all you could eat is vanilla ice cream, it'd probably get old pretty quick. So, too much of a good thing isn't always a good thing. So how are things where you're sitting for the Great Awakening? It's true. It's a trip, man. My whole life I've been going back and forth with that great question. Do we make things happen because we think about them? Or do we think about them and then they happen? Wait a minute. I said the same thing in different words. Do we make things happen because we think about them? Or do some people predict the happenings of things? We'll never know. Well, I think we might get an answer when we cross the Rainbow Bridge, but I don't think there's any evidence to support either way. But anyway, there was a couple of good, decent conversations. I like to make people think different. That's what Heyoka do. We don't care if you agree with me or not, just as long as people get the idea that, hey, there's so many different ways to look at something. There's so many different perspectives. Yeah. And for people to just be sustained on one ideology, and this is how things are, this is how it's always been, and these are how things are always going to be, that is just baffling to me. And I think those are the folks that are going to have a hard time. This next little stretch. New moon's tomorrow. New moon. Woo! New moon in Aries. I'm Aries sun. So all this energy, you know. I was thinking about that today on the ride home from the coffee shop. I was like, I have so much freaking masculine energy in me. I've always had so much masculine energy in me. And that has nothing to do with gender. Now, it's what I identify with masculine energy is that tough and tumble, that rowdy, the get her done, the go, all that aggression and not violence. I'm not a violent person. I will defend myself. I'm not a violent person. Could be considered aggressive. My energy is hard as nails, man. When I got to the coffee shop today, when I sat down, I got my cup of coffee, and I just had to clear my energy, and I was like, all right, I'm getting there. I'm getting better. I said I had a kind of a rough, a rough start today, and I was a little crabby, a little grouchy. He's like, yeah, I could tell from just how you were walking up to the... See, I don't hide things. I'm a freaking beacon of emotion. Whatever I'm feeling, it freaking whether I'm happy in it. Everybody knows I'm happy in it. Sometimes it can make other people happy. Sometimes happiness makes people feel uncomfortable and awkward and weird, and then they want to be a dick to you, but you cross those bridges when you come to them. But when I'm mad I'm a dick. I can't stand myself oftentimes. Yep. Anyway, so I had a weird thing happen with my tire. I think I got it handled. I don't know. We got a temporary fix. I went by the tire shop today, and I was standing there for a few minutes, and there's a couple that went in before me, and then it was me, and then there's this young fellow came in after, and nobody came in to even acknowledge us. So either that makes me think the guy that runs the office, they don't have an office person, so somebody from outside in the garage has to freaking stop doing what they're doing to come in and talk. So either way, I wasn't willing to wait, and I left. But my tire, my valve stem's loose. I'm losing air on the valve stem. So they have these weird things that just like kind of fit over the old one kind of thing. So I got one of those, but we'll see. I'll get a more permanent fix. I'll either get the valve stem replaced. I don't know if it cracked or if it just became unseated, because I hit that last undulation pretty good where I live. Boom! Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one. Anyway, so that's what I get for being too hasty. And and these are the lessons at Scorpio seasons, man. These are the lessons that people are to learn. Your haste will be your waste. Your haste. When I speak and tell these tales, I'm freaking talking to me too, man. My haste will be my waste. Now look at the time I get to suck with, taking care of the tire. This is what I get. So anyway, what else? A lot of weird stuff going on in the world. Just weird, like, stuff's hitting the mainstream, and that makes me think, that just leads me to believe that what so many of us know to be true, and the majority of the percentage of the population go on in this just existence, just ignoring the reality of such situations. And now it's coming into mainstream. This stuff is coming into mainstream. For instance, I saw this little story. This is just MSN. This stuff comes out. True story of a Utah woman whose headstone is inscribed with "Victim of the Beast." It's just, this stuff is everywhere, man. And it's not one group. It's like 5 different groups. It's the bloodline people. It's the Jesuit people. It's like you got these freaking groups of freaking indignant, freaking condescending, freaking self-righteous, freaking shallow tools that just have this mentality of, don't you know? And it doesn't matter who you are, because you've just done shitty things. And so is your bloodline. Generation after generation after generation. They perpetuated this story of control, all the while trying to perpetuate this storyline of freedom. And it's very disingenuous. So all this disingenuousness is about to come to a crux. I feel like the whole world is going to stop. And that's the thing. It's like, another thing I was thinking about at the coffee shop today, with all these volcanoes and stuff erupting everywhere, and all these fires and all these hurricanes. There hasn't been a hurricane in a minute, but all this predictive stuff, the stuff it's oh so predicted, or in retrospect, so it's verifiable. That they're just, the world is freaking, the average people are just puppets on a string. And that there's just this group of people, just like that movie, Trading Places, where they freaking just like to ruin people's lives just because they could. It's really weird, man. It's really weird. And and you know why? And I think more and more people are buying it, because it's like, well, yeah, that adds up, because it's like these famous people. These famous people that have made, these actors and stuff like that. It's like, you have made millions of dollars for being a parrot. average people act every day. I can't tell you how many times I acted like I wanted to go to this freaking office where I worked, or go to the Air Force where I worked, and was fucking wanted to be there, because I never fucking did. I was like everybody else. I did this stuff because I had to do what I needed to do to take care of my family. And fortunate enough for me, ever since Oregon, and the reality of the situation shifted, that my days of 9 to 5 are over, and I'm going to be a work from home daughter. And once that became evident, it just so happened that God has just, we've had our needs met. But you know what? I don't live outside my means. I've never fucking pissed away money. I've never wasted stuff. I've never had to buy expensive cars because I thought that maybe if I had expensive cars that people would have a higher opinion about. People think like that. That's why they buy expensive cars. And they also think like, well, I'm so important and I'm so valuable as a human being. These are the things that I deserve. And I'm like, I don't even understand how people can think like that, because I could never spend so much on something when there's so many people. Maybe when everybody has a roof over their head. You know, maybe when everybody is secure, and maybe everybody has coping mechanisms on how to calm themselves down in the middle of the night when they're terrified because they can't get these images out of their head of things that happened years ago. But they don't know how to stay in the present moment. And that's where people like me come in, because the rest of the world population, you're going to need people like me, because so many people are going to lose their shit. Once they find out it's just all nonsense. How many little kids, I just see the whole world going, what? Santa's not real? What? You know, all these people waking, oh, what? Everything I was told was a lie? Welcome to the rest of the freaking, Matrix, It's not fair that people like me should have to just go through all the freaking fun shit, and maintain their faith that, is with the verifiable evidence that has been given to me that life is shitty. Life is shitty, man, and sometimes good stuff happens, but mostly life is shitty. I still have faith that one day my life is going to come into some kind of a balance, and then it's going to be freaking good more than it's going to be shitty. And yeah, the astrologists are saying, once again, it's always this time of year, you're going to find your tribe. Well, it hasn't happened yet, so maybe I will, maybe I won't. I take everything with a grain of salt. I don't freaking land on anything as, this is how things are. Because there's always evidence that's given to make me at least go, oh, it could be like that. Oh, maybe it's not like that, So, anyway, what else is going on in the world today? I don't really know. We've had a pretty freaking chill day. Oh, I was doing, I haven't been getting a lot of sleep at night right now, and sometimes I'll look up my birth chart just to remind myself, that everybody has the potential to have all these, to be every characteristic, It's our free will, get what we choose to land on. So I just want to read this little excerpt about part of why I'm me. And, and this is an opposition that I have between the sun and Uranus. Ma, maybe you can help let me know if this sounds like me, okay? Your identity rides on your sense of personal freedom. It can be quite a challenge to get you to do what you don't want to do, simply because you see any attempts by others to push you in a certain direction as treating to your sense of freedom. You are a very dynamic person who questions tradition and authority, yet paradoxically, you can be quite set in your ways. See, you can be. And because I know I can be, I have to flex my flexibility more because I can be stuck. See? Without trying to overcompensate. It's all such a wonderful, wonderful puzzle, isn't it? Let's see. Although a humanitarian in many ways, you can be a little brisk when it comes to this sentimentality or what you perceive to be excess of attachment to past or to tradition. Right? I would say that's pretty accurate. What do you think, Ma? You can have a lot of nervous energy and defensiveness, which is very true. It can be very difficult to hold a 9-to-5 job or develop steady routines. You got a steady routine, Ma, right? Don't you have a pretty steady routine? See, again, people can rise above their astrology if they freaking put in the work. And by the way, I did get to meditate today for about an hour or so. Let's see. You work best when you manage your own schedule and you work in spurts. That is also true. When you hit the creative inspiration, you are capable of tremendous effort. However, you can be quite temperamental. Yes, I'm a Mooney bitch. I think that was Anne said that. Anne Ortley. Mooney instead of Moody. And it's very hard for you to pour your heart and soul into something that you don't feel for at the moment. You don't like superficiality or pretense. Or people that hold those characteristics. I'm like, somebody's like, oh, I don't think different ill of people, based on their economic background. And I'm like, that's funny, because I fucking can't stand rich people, man. I fucking can't stand, never find me hanging out, hobnobbing, schmoozing with the frickin' oozing. Let's see. It says you don't like superficiality or pretense, which is an admirable trait. However, your disdain for pretense can be problematic in a world where people are expected to perform, whether they are inspired or not. You should try your best to channel your high levels of intuition, inventiveness, and spiritedness into creative endeavors or important causes. That's what I'm trying to do. Every day, huh, Ma? Every day, Marge. Every day, Marge. Yep. Hey, Cosmic Hillbilly. Yeah, in Virgo. That's correct. It's 6:06, so that's what, 4:06 my time, I guess. Oh, good day to you, Cosmic Hillbilly. Hi, pretty girl. Cheers. Got my water. Getting my water on board. What else is going on? So, Fruition, all these people, they're thinking, I'm basing this on my thought, because I'm like, man, if something happens, it'll level the I know, based on conversations that I'm having with other people, that they are having the same feelings. And I understand from listening to this astrologer and that astrologer and this astrologer and that astrologer, that from them listening to their clientele, that they're getting the same things, is that people are all in anticipation for the dam to break, so to speak. We just don't know, but are we going to make something happen on a cosmic letter, or is everybody just, like the vibration you get, something's going to happen, your intuition, your gut, your third eye, your heart, your gut, all lines up and gives you being, knowing that this is truth. And that is not. A lot of people are waking up. Their bullshit meters are waking, just dawning. Have you ever had that happen a handful of times? You should have seen the look on my face when I discovered I was a bastard. See, because when I was one of those weird little kids, I always wanted to know my origin story, Like, did my it was always important that my parents came from love, that I came from a loving environment. And they assured me that's what happened. And I was even told at one time that they went to the courthouse to get a divorce, but the judge said, no, I can see that you two love each other and this is the bullshit that I bought I bought it because I wanted to believe it, and at that point I didn't have any reason not to. I went to AA meetings for years, stood up at a podium and told a story about how I came from love, right? Only to find out 3 years ago from Mom getting a DNA test, you get all kinds of documents and stuff, and I've gotten one since, and I get the same document, so it's been verified twice that, yeah, my parents went and got a freaking divorce in 1972, and I wasn't born until 1974. And you know what my brother's attitude is it happened so long ago, why does it fucking matter now? Why are you living in the past? And I'm like, they've been lying to me my whole fucking life. I want to know why. How come nobody ever talked to me or took me counseling over the baby? I had to go talk about my feelings over some other bullshit, but I read the police report about that, and tight lip, there's no way, you don't always get answers in life. I think you get those answers after or incarnate, The thing is some people get so hung up trying to find out. I used to. It's like, you get to a point, it's like, if universe wants you to know, if you're supposed to know, the truth is always revealed. It doesn't matter, man, if it's freaking an hour, a week, a year, 20 years, 30 years, truth. It has a vibrational frequency. It's like a sliver, man. You can't keep it hidden up. People try to bury it, and it still makes its way out. This is verifiable. It's been proven time and time again. I got a zit. I'm almost 50. Why am I getting zits? Anyway. I'm trying not to I try so hard not to land on any idea of how anything's gonna go. I try. And sometimes because sometimes I imagine. Sometimes I want, they say it, sometimes you want to make, you want to manifest things. Imagine the world how you want it to be. And then every day take a foot prayer, take an action step in making that happen, These guys at the coffee shop, they're good guys, and it's cool and stuff, but it's like, you guys have been living the same day for like week after week for 20 years, and you're still in a community that's struggling, and you got people that are squatting all over because there's no permanent solutions. And these fucking Airbnb places, man, fuck you guys, man. You guys suck. All these gougers, and that's the thing, man, is you guys are freaking hoes, dude. You're gouging, and I think it's so funny. Supply and demand, you can't price gouge on us. But how come every time something terrible happens, people fucking price gouge? But people aren't supposed to price gouge. But they do! It's like, that is cognitive dissonance. All the stuff that every time somebody says, I'll be there at 3 o'clock, and they never show up, that creates cognitive dissonance. That creates a distrust in somebody. And the more they do that, the more people don't want to deal with that human being. And then it gets to the point that every time they say something, the people around them are just like, yeah, whatever. Nothing you say is true. It's all shit. And it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. All of that is cognitive dissonance. Everybody that acts in one way and lives in another, or acts in one way and just freaking is deceivious, all of that stuff is going to become to light. And right, wrong, or indifferent, a lot of people are going to have a hard time with that. A lot of people have no idea that they have a freaking pervert in their midst. You know, and how do you talk about that? How do you go on with that? Well, you do. You talk about it. You go on. You don't stuff it and hide it away and pretend like... Because every family's got one somewhere at some point in time. Huh? And if people are struggling with these own tendencies, there's things that you can do. You can rise above your own urges. I'm Scorpio moon. Our sex drives are Aries sun. I got all these. The sex drives are up here. You know what? You got freaking those feelings. Those woo. People are freaking horny. All that stuff. You know. Go for a run. Go lift weights. You know. I'm not in a freaking committed relationship. I ain't gonna go out and freaking chase sensations and freaking swap my energy field with somebody who is, you know, probably is such a... Because people that hook up like that, there's low vibey freaking behavior, that's for sure. That fuck it and chuck it shit. That hookup stuff, that has never ever been me. Ever been me. Ever been me. I tried, when I was a drunk, I tried to be a slut. I'm not a slut. I do... Never mind. I used to like slutty girls though. Or the girls that I liked, I'd find out after the fact. Wow, you're really fucking busy. Like so busy, even their memory foam mattress can't even keep track of who. I dated one girl. I dated one girl on and off for fucking years. That was a karmic relationship. That's when I was fucking myself. She was a Taurus. I'm an Aries sun. So when I think of when people are like right by each other or same signs, it's like you're fucking yourself, man. So I like the signs on the other side of the wheel, the ones that are opposite of me. Yeah, but this chick, man, she had a calendar that she kept, I guess, for the good old days. And every day that she'd fucking do it with a dude or a chick, it doesn't matter. She didn't discriminate. She'd put a heart on the calendar, right? And some days, there'd be 2 hearts. And I'd just be like, oh my God. Overachiever, huh? But... you get bugs and critters when you act like that. You get freaking all kinds of freaking weird shit. You gotta take freaking pills and rashes and stuff like that. Never wanted to tempt fate, so I just, you know, keep to my... I always had an idea that there was one girl for me out there. I was that hopeless, dopey, freaking foolish romantic. You know, every now and again I'd meet a girl and I'd be like, oh my gosh, maybe it's her, and then it wasn't. And then I started to look around, you know, and really start to question the existence of that, you know, there's a perfect person for each individual. I think people just kind of, oh, okay, good enough. All right, good enough. Some people are, you know, are very compatible, I found. Yeah, but... It hasn't been my storyline. It hasn't been mine. I'm just supposed to learn lessons and all and be a spectator. It's not for lack of effort, though, but I always had an idea, you know, that if I ever do find a gal that I could settle down with, that I wouldn't have to want to disclose what kind of a fucking trash bag I used to be before I met her. So... You know, even if I remain single for all the days of my life until my last breath, you know, maybe I'll die and be... God, I don't really want to be born again, but in the event that I do, you know, at some point, I'm going to find my energetic match. And whether it's in this life, the next life, the last life, the life after next, the life before last... It don't matter. I'm not going to have to freaking explain to them that I was a freaking trash bag. So, that's just how I believe in things. So, and the older I get, the more selective I get too. You know, people are like, you have these unbelievable expectations. I'm like, I just don't want to be with someone that's a freaking liar. Or a freaking slutball, or, you know, lazy. And I'd like to be with somebody that has a brain and then it has a sense of humor. It's kind of witty. That'd be kind of fun too. But I guess that's too tall of an order. Anyway, that's not my priority right now anyway. My priority is getting through the Scorpio season without shaving my head. I have so much masculine energy in me. When you even look at my chart, I can't even help it. And you know what I think about it? That because there's a lot of guys that don't have, they're men, but they have more feminine energy in them than masculine energy, you know? And then you have the macho men that have very little, or they overcompensate, or they're covering up, or they're trying to stifle their feminine. You know, we're supposed to be, balancing our masculine and our feminine at the same time, and I don't know, maybe it'll happen. But I got, where is it? For my rundown is real quick. I got 6 masculine, 4 feminine, 3 cardinal, 1 fixed, 6 mutable. That's why I'm like, don't try and that's a thing. That's a nice way of saying wishy-washy. No, I was telling somebody today, it's like, I struggle with dichotomy, because when people like me, we can think about one thing so many different ways that sometimes it's hard on making a decision. So, sometimes I'll hear my friend Pam in Oregon go, pull the trigger, Marge, because I'd talk things out with her out loud, and I'd be like, well, I could do this, or I could do this, or I could do this, or maybe I should do this or this, and she'd be like, pull the trigger, Marge, just pull the trigger. I'd be like, all right. She's like, make a decision, just pick one, so, whew. I'm a thinker, that's for sure, and it's kind of hard and weird to be in a world when they're just surrounded by a whole bunch of people who just really aren't thinkers. Or if they are thinkers, they're definitely not thinking about the things that I'm thinking about. Anyway, one day at a time. As long as we're comfortable, we're full, where nobody's hungry, everybody's fed and content, I got no complaints. That's about all I got for now. Hope you have a rad evening. Peace. Want to watch Sheldon, Ma?